Alright folks, what we have here is a cat tourniquet, C-A-T, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, is this something that you should EDC or not? And EDC is everyday carry for those who are not in the know. But before we do that, I'm going to say, why don't y'all go grab yourself a nice cold beer, come on back and we'll get started. Alright, so hopefully everybody made it back. And what I want to talk a little bit about is tourniquets and whether or not they should be part of your EDC setup, your everyday carry system. And the reason why is, actually let's go over here. Prepared Mind 101, he did a video a couple days ago where he talked about the contents of his EDC bag, and here you can see a tourniquet. And he talked a little bit about how it was important to be able to stop major bleeding in your everyday system. And I kind of agree with him. I never carried a tourniquet. I keep one in my home first aid kit and my car first aid kits. But I never kept one in my EDC bag. I do keep things like Israeli bandages, gauze, and quick clot, but not a tourniquet. And after listening to what he said, I said, hey, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. Sometimes he posts stuff where I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy. But a lot of times he says things that make sense or maybe get you thinking a little bit differently. And I think in this case, I'm thinking a little bit differently. I haven't committed to adding a tourniquet to my EDC. But what's odd is a few days after this video was posted, my buddy Neff posted on a chat that I belong to this article. And it's about a tourniquet saving somebody, saving their leg, perhaps their life. Now this looks like a counterfeit or a fake tourniquet, so we're not going to talk about that. But in a nutshell, what it says is the tourniquet helped save the officer's life yesterday in a brazen mid-morning shooting, became part of a Boston cop's everyday carry gear in the wake of the 2013 Boston Marathon bombings, according to authorities. And during those Boston bombings, where those guys blew things up in the pressure cookers, people were making tourniquets out of bandanas and cut off pieces of sweatshirts and shoestrings and all kinds of other things to help save people. And that they saw that it was pretty good. So the Boston cops started to carry tourniquets as part of their systems, as their everyday carry. Now, in this particular story, a cop got shot and he was able to use the tourniquet to stop the bleeding. Now, using tourniquets is kind of dangerous, and I'm not going to show a video on how to use one or when to use one or any of that kind of stuff or which ones to use because I don't want anybody blaming me for anything. But it's something that you should probably investigate and something that you should probably learn about and make a decision, an educated decision for yourself. And when I started talking about making this video, one of the things is I just Googled tourniquets and cops. And one of the things that I saw was over here in Denver. Denver health tourniquet training has saved cops' lives. This is after 2 Denver police officers were shot. The department offered crash course to cops. And, you know, I get that cops and police officers and first responders live a little bit more of a dangerous lifestyle than I do. But maybe it's not such a bad idea. You know, you got all these screwballs and nut jobs running around shooting up everybody or stabbing people. Maybe it's not a bad idea to keep a tourniquet as part of your EDC. So yeah, that being said, I just pulled up tourniquets on Amazon. And these are the ones that I have bought in the past. A North American Rescue military issue combat application tourniquet. And as you can see, they're kind of expensive, $31. You know, but when you start to talk about, hey, something that's going to save my life, my wife's life, my kids, you know, maybe $31 isn't so expensive. Like I said, I keep one in my car. But typically, I use my car when I go camping or maybe to the gun range or something like that, and I'm taking part in a little bit higher risk activities. But you could get in a car accident. You could, anything could happen, and then you could need a tourniquet. And we keep one in our home first aid kit. But again, it's not something that you have readily available to you. If you take a look at these, here's some other ones. Rapid application tourniquet system. What I do know is I think you want a little bit of a thicker band, around 2 inches or so. And then here's a SWAT T tourniquet. I haven't been able to find much information about that. But one of the other things is this looks just like the rat tourniquets, right? The cat tourniquets. Here's one here, the improved version. But this looks just like it, except for it doesn't have the timestamp. So, and it's only $8. Let's take a quick look at this. So I went down and took a look at the reviews. Where is it? Right here. 2.8 out of 5 stars. It doesn't look that good. And people are saying it's an illegal bootleg copy of the cat tourniquet. These have been documented for failing. It has all the aspects of the original. The instructions have been redacted in areas where it would have shown the trademark name. This causes a bit of concern that it's counterfeit. You know, and what's a shame is that there's these dirt bags out there that just try to make a buck on anything. And so if you do buy a tourniquet, make sure you understand what they are, what they should be, and how to use them. And don't try to get caught up into saving a couple bucks and buying some piece of crap tourniquet that is a counterfeit or a fake. That's going to fail and cost you or the life of your loved ones. It's just not worth it. So anyhow, that being said, I don't know if I'm going to carry a tourniquet in my EDC. I mean, I know people who carry tarps in case they need to build a shelter, or fat wood and fire tinders in case they need to build a fire, and I think that's all a little bit crazy. To me, this actually seems like a practical thing, and something that should at least be in your everyday carry bag, if not on your person. Anyhow, that's it. Comments below would be appreciated. Thanks, everybody.